Hi everyone, welcome to Cooking with Chef Rich. Today we're going to be making some vegetable lo mein. One of my favorites. We're going to run through the ingredients. I have some, this is just thick spaghetti I'm using. You can actually use lo mein noodles, but if not, like I said, you can just use some thick spaghetti. That works perfect. Vegetables, I am using some red pepper, some shiitake mushrooms. The shiitake mushrooms, I just pulled out the stems and I quartered them. Some carrots, I have garlic and ginger, I have cornstarch, soy sauce, honey, some Napa cabbage. The black and white sesame seeds are just for garnish, so if you don't have them, don't stress over it. And some scallions, also mostly for garnish. Pretty much everything's standard. I am going to show you how to work with Napa cabbage for those of you who don't know. So this is basically a half a head of Napa cabbage. I cut it in half. You'll notice that there's a core over here like regular cabbage. If you do an inverted V, it takes out the core. The next thing, you notice that this separates very, very easy. So I always wash everything before, so I'm going to go over and wash it. So I wash my Napa cabbage. I try to keep it all together. It just makes it easier to chop. So just basically just slice across. And you'll notice that this looks just like that. So I just wanted to show you how to do that. And we'll start to cook. So I just dropped my pasta in. My water was obviously boiling. I just dropped my pasta in and I'll stir that in about a minute or so once it kind of goes down a little bit. And we'll start to cook. So I'm using a wok. If you don't have a wok, use a saute pan. It's not a big deal. You don't need a wok to do this. I'm also using sesame oil. If you don't have sesame oil, just use a little bit of vegetable oil. It's not going to really change the flavor too much. This is rather expensive, so if you don't have it, don't stress over it. I'm going to put just like a tablespoon or two, just so I can saute a little bit. You'll notice my wok was actually on the fire, so it is actually smoking at this point. I'm going to add my carrots first and start to saute that. Actually, I'm also going to put my mushrooms in now as well, because my mushrooms are going to take a little while. And while it's cooking, I'm going to stir it every couple seconds or so. Make sure you stir your pasta. At this point, my flame is actually on high. When you want to use a wok, you want to use high heat. This is going to actually cook for probably about 3 or 4 minutes, I'm guessing. So I will show you what it looks like in about 3 or 4 minutes. So it's actually only been about a minute. My wok is getting quite hot, and a tablespoon of oil has about 120 calories, which is a lot. I am always very health conscious when I cook, and I try to avoid oil. If you look at my pot right now, there's literally no oil in here. So I can add more oil, which will make it more fattening. Instead, I'm actually going to just add some water. Just going to add a couple drops of water to this to finish cooking it. Because it does have to cook, this does have to cook for another 2 to 3 minutes. But like I said, I prefer not to add the extra oil or calories. So I just want to explain that to you, show you what I'm doing exactly. So our vegetables have been cooking for just about 3 minutes, I'd say. Our carrots are just about tender. Just so you understand with the water, what that does is it basically steams the vegetables, which is a perfectly legitimate way of cooking vegetables, just healthier than adding tons of oil. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my garlic and ginger. For this, I do have to add just a drop more oil to get that going. Unfortunately, you can't saute garlic and ginger with water. That doesn't work. I'm just going to do this for a couple seconds and then start adding my other vegetables. All right. That's good. Gonna give this a nice mix. Next thing I'm going to add is my cabbage and my peppers. And I'm going to take about half the scallions, approximately. The other half I'm going to be using just for garnish later on. Make sure if, when you notice I'm scraping the bottom, some of the garlic and ginger is sticking, so I just want to make sure that I get that up so it doesn't burn. And make sure you stir your pasta while it's going. And this is going to cook for another 3 or 4 minutes, I'm going to guess. So my vegetables are now tender. Tried some of them. Next thing we're going to add to this is chicken stock. This is actually a vegan dish, so if you use a vegetable stock, it keeps it vegan. Also, I didn't mention it before, but if you want to add like chicken or beef to this, if you want it to be a beef lo mein or chicken lo mein, just saute your chicken beforehand, take it out, put it on a pan, and add it last minute. Same thing with chicken. Next thing we're going to add is we're going to add our soy sauce. We're going to add our honey. This has to come up to a boil, so I will show you what it looks like as soon as it comes up to a boil. Our liquid is just coming up to a boil now. This is cornstarch, and this is just some regular water. I'm going to add the water to this cornstarch and make something called a slurry. You can't add cornstarch directly to your directly to what we're cooking. Like so. That's good. The other thing is you can't actually boil cornstarch because it breaks down. This is nice and thick. You notice it got thick very, very, very quickly. So like you could simmer it lightly, but you really should not boil cornstarch. At this point, we're going to add our pasta. I took our pasta off. It was cooked al dente, or firm to the tooth, as they say in Italian, or in English, either way. Obviously give it a really, really good mix. Can turn down the flame at this point. Everything's fully cooked. Now it's just a matter of mixing it up. I'm gonna put it in a bowl and I'll show you what it looks like after it's mixed. See you in a couple minutes. So I put our lo mein in a bowl. I tried to put vegetables on top so it looks nice. Just so you know when you plate it, you should definitely do that. I'm gonna sprinkle some black and white sesame seeds. If you don't have sesame seeds, you can skip it, it's fine. If you have only white ones, that's fine too. I'm gonna take some scallion, put some scallion on top. And voila, we are finished. So I have my chopsticks here. This should be interesting. I don't eat with chopsticks too much, but it's always fun. It drops all over me. You can laugh at me, it's alright. That's not gonna work. Didn't drop too much. It's actually very, very good. I love shiitake mushrooms. Shiitake mushrooms are my favorite mushrooms by far. Very good. Taste the ginger, you taste the garlic. The soy and the sugar balance each other perfectly. Really nice dish. So, anyway, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, share it with your friends. Be safe, everyone. Bye-bye.